Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here with your next flip lesson, and this is on parallel and perpendicular lines. And I'm not going to tell you much about it. I'm just going to get right to doing it. Okay, so I'm just going to get right down to graphing. First, I'm going to do this blue equation. Looks like it's in slope-intercept form. And I'll put the y-intercept there. And then my slope is 2 over 1, right? And I will get my line to look like this. By the way, if you hear some cool music in the background, my son is listening to or watching Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. All right. Love the jazz in that. All right. Line style. There we go. There's the blue one. So let's do the red one now. Looks like it's in slope-intercept form, and there's a 0 added on the end. So my y-intercept is 0. And again, I'm going to have a slope of 2. And I can just do this. And boom. Looks like those lines are parallel, doesn't it? I knew they were parallel before we began. How do you suppose I know? Well, the secret is right here, ladies and gentlemen. Right here. You see the slope? It's 2. The slope here is 2. Parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. Let's see what happens with this green one. Looks like I have a y-intercept of -3. 1, 2, 3, right down there. And a slope of -1 over 2. And I'm going to rise 1, go back 2. Going to rise 1, go back 2. And I'll be ready to draw my line in a minute. Hold on a second. I want to extend this red one and blue one. All right, there's my green line, which is actually black with green points. What relationship do you suppose the red and blue line have to the black line? Well, if you said they're perpendicular, you are correct. They come together at 4 right angles. Yeah, and look at the slope. It's very similar to the slope of the red one. But I wrote 2 as a fraction. I flip it and change the sign. So perpendicular, that's a symbol for perpendicular. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. All that means is you have to flip the slope and change the sign. All right, let's try this again. The blue one's in point slope form. Looks like my point is going to be -1, +2. All right, -1, +2. And my slope is 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So my blue equation yields a line that looks like this. My red equation, its point is going to be 2, -2, right? 1, 2, -2 right there. Okay, so then the slope is 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Okay, and then if I clone that, and there we go, we get a set of parallel lines. And check out their slopes. We should have known they were parallel ahead of time. Slope of 3, slope of 3. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. All right, on this one, my point is going to be -4, +3. So I go -1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so my slope is -1 over 3, so I'm going to go down 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down 1, 1, 2, 3, and down 1, 1, 2, 3. All right, so up 1, 1, 2, 3, And look, it's perpendicular. And check out its slope. It's the negative reciprocal of 3. You flip the fraction and change the sign. All right, the blue one looks like it's in standard form. I'm going to find the x-intercept. In other words, I'm going to plug 0 in for y. And when I do that, this turns to 0. I'm going to get 2. So 2, 0 is on my graph. Now, I'm not going to put x to 0 because 4 doesn't divide by 3 evenly. But I remember the slope is going to be the negative of a over b. So that would be negative 2 over 3. So I'm going to go down to 1, 2, 3. Down to 1, 2, 3. So, here we go. It's going to look something like that. And now I'll do the red one. Look, you should notice that the slope is negative 2/3. I'm expecting you to get a parallel line because the blue one had a slope of negative 2/3. All right, the y-intercept is 0. And I'm going to go down 2, right 3. Down 2, right 3. Up 2, back 1, 2, 3. And when I do that, I can clone my line. And look at that, it's a perfect fit because they are parallel. All right, I'm going to leave that one go. I'm not going to change its color. I think that's okay. Now the green one. It's in point slope form. I'm going to have an x-coordinate of 1 and my y-coordinate of negative 5. So we're going to go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And my slope is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And if I graph that one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There we go, perpendicular. All right, and I knew it was going to be perpendicular because my slope was the negative reciprocal. I have negative 2/3. I flip it to 3/2, and I change the sign. Negative became positive. If the slope had equaled 1/2, the perpendicular slope would equal a negative 2. All right? So parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals of each other. You may want to watch this one again. It's pretty easy stuff, but there's a lot of information here. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.